Hi everyone, it's great to connect with you. I remember being exactly where you are today. When I was an undergrad, I studied product design at Stanford University. It's an interdisciplinary major that brings together mechanical engineering, art, and psychology. One of my first big jobs after graduating was working as a product designer at Leapfrog, an educational toy company. I started as a second designer, employee number 11, and helped grow the company to the third largest toy company in the US. Along the way, we created dozens of innovative, award-winning toys like the Twist and Shout multiplication. We were so focused on social impact, creating a new, interactive, and engaging way to teach kids about math, science, and reading, but we didn't think about the environmental impact of the millions of toys we were producing. I've learned a lot since then. Over the last 20 years, I've been studying different strategies for reimagining and redesigning capitalism in a way that uses the power of business as an engine to drive systemic, social, and environmental change. The recent global pandemic, economic crisis, and racial justice uprisings have revealed a deep, fundamental problem in our economic system. For decades, companies have been externalizing costs, operating in places where the law allows for substandard treatment of workers, extracting natural resources in a way that has led to substantial global environmental degradation. We are, I think, at an inflection point in the evolution of business. We're seeing a shift from a 20th century focus on maximizing shareholder value and driving bottom-line business profitability at any cost, to a broader focus on creating stakeholder value for everyone, not just investors. Today, I'll share with you a new model of business and a global movement accelerating that shift, using business as a force for good. We all have an opportunity to join that movement, to reimagine and redesign what comes next. To shift from a focus on an economy built on being exclusive to one that values inclusiveness. From an economy where workers simply manage and get by being paid a minimum wage to being paid a fair living wage. From a focus on an extractive approach to the environment to one that is regenerative. And from a mentality that's focused on winner take all to a focus on shared prosperity. Stakeholders like you and I now have an increased access to information and increased concerns about social, environmental, and ethical issues. More and more research shows us that consumers expect businesses to address social and environmental challenges. In fact, in a recent survey from Koch's company, 87% of global consumers agreed that business must play a role in addressing societal issues. We're also seeing increasingly that employees and prospective employees care about these issues, particularly millennials and Gen Z. In fact, in that same survey, 86% of employees believe that it's important that their own employer is responsible to society and the environment. Investors are increasingly using sustainability metrics as a lens through which to evaluate their investment decisions. In fact, Larry Fink, who leads BlackRock Investments, which has over 7 trillion, that's trillion with a T, 7 trillion under management, in a recent letter to CEOs said, quote, "A company cannot achieve long-term profits without embracing purpose and considering the needs of a broad range of stakeholders. Purpose is the engine of long-term profitability," close quote. He went on to say that companies need to do more than make profits and that he planned to hold them to account. We're also seeing research studies that are showing a strong connection between good environmental, social, and governance practices, which result in better operational performance. Sustainable businesses are better able to understand and address the needs of their stakeholders, they're better able to manage risk, and better able to innovate. Lack of clear, credible standards makes it difficult for consumers, investors, policymakers, and workers to distinguish between good companies and companies that are simply good at marketing. Over the last 10 years, I've been studying a new model of business. These are B corporations. For-profit businesses that have measured and quantified their impacts on the environment, employees, customers, and the community. And these companies have been certified to be the best of the best. Companies like Patagonia, Ben & Jerry's, Allbirds, Seventh Generation, and even Hootsuite. B Corps can be found in a range of industries, from textiles to technology, energy to education, and food to finance, around the world. And these businesses are leading the way as lighthouse businesses in their industries and regions. B Lab is the global nonprofit leading the B Corp movement. Their vision is to build an inclusive, equitable, and regenerative economy for all people and the planet. The backbone of the B Corp movement is the B Impact Assessment. It's an in-depth tool that B Lab has developed that measures and quantifies a company's impact across their stakeholders. Companies are measured from 0 to 200, and those that achieve an 80 or above can qualify to become a certified B Corporation. Now, there are almost 4,000 certified B corporations in 60 countries around the world, but over 100,000 firms, banks, investors, and organizations worldwide also use this tool to assess corporate sustainability with a focus on continuous improvement. All B corporations are audited and have to make their B Impact Assessment score public to demonstrate transparency and accountability. Counterculture Coffee is one of over 70 companies we've worked with through a student consulting program I run in the Poole College of Management here at NC State called the B Corp Clinic, where we help those companies make progress towards B Corp certification and improve their social and environmental impact. But why are we seeing more and more businesses engage in the B Corp movement, seek certification, and work to demonstrate to their stakeholders a commitment to sustainability? What are some of the benefits? B Corps are engaging in this movement to build a competitive advantage. It's an opportunity for them to differentiate themselves from their competition, to build strong brand value, and to connect with those consumers who care deeply about these issues. Most B Corps certify and improve over time. The B Impact Assessment itself is a roadmap for companies to set, make progress towards, and achieve ambitious sustainability goals through an objective third-party verification process. The B Corp movement provides an opportunity to completely reshape the capital markets. There are hundreds of investors who have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in B corporations. Whether to hold their investments accountable for impact or to support long-term value creation, investors increasingly are engaging in the B Corp movement. In fact, Grupo Banco Colombia, the largest bank in Colombia, used the B Impact Assessment to measure 100 key suppliers to try to gauge their social and environmental impact and create broader systemic change across their value chain. B Lab and the global B Corp community are taking a leadership role in addressing key issues facing our society, including working to dismantle white supremacy and share resources and best practices, building a community of businesses focused on a commitment to work actively against racism. In the largest and most aggressive climate commitment to date by a group of businesses, there are now over 800 B Corps committed to net zero by 2030. That's 20 years ahead of the Paris Agreement 2050 targets. These B corporations are working collectively to develop tools and share best practices to meet this commitment within the B Corp community and beyond. Through collective action and a systems change approach, B Lab has been engaging a global community of certified B Corps, investors, and many other stakeholders, including academics like me and students like you. Despite many challenges, I do believe that the B Corp movement is one key piece of the process of redesigning capitalism in a way that builds shared well-being, a healthier planet, and an economic system that works for everyone. In the Poole College of Management, I serve as the director of the Business Sustainability Collaborative, where we are teaching students innovative sustainability strategies, conducting applied research that can inform businesses, and working with companies at the leading edge of the sustainable business movement. I also serve as president of B Academics, a global network of thousands of educators, researchers, practitioners, and students studying the B Corp movement. So I hope you can see that here at NC State, we are one of the leading academic institutions studying, teaching about, and engaging with B Corps. Join us and go Pack.